Sorry. Took me a little bit. I like how I come on and says one. It says somebody's already here. What the heck is going on with that background? I'm just looking at the fish. Everything's all like funky looking. No idea why it looks like that. Hey, Wasabi. I'm just trying to figure out why. Hey, Grant. Wow. People got on here early. I'm just trying to figure out why the background, why the photos look so bad. Usually they don't look like that. You guys can see those, right? Wasabi was first. Looks like Grant was second. Bass the North showed up. I'm fishing and ain't fishing ain't easy. How's it going? Parker Russo, how's it going? Sorry, I'm just looking at my I'm reminiscing. I haven't looked at all these photos in years. These are actually all the photos I used to take when I was on my boat at Pinot. You made it. Congrats. Yeah, I think. Hey, Big Worm. I don't know why these look so bad in the background. But yeah, these are all the ones I used to take. I think these are from for 5 years I did a written blog and I didn't upload videos much. And I don't know. I think ooh, that's a big ass crappie. I think that's where all these photos are from. Yeah, I figured, we're on here, it's a fishing show. We're hanging out. Yeah, there's another big crappie. I said these are all the ones. I'm pretty sure all these came from because it says it's from my place board, which is this camera. Hey Jose, these are all from this camera, which is the one I used to carry. It's easier to carry with me, but yeah, I think that's what all these are from. It's here. I said I was going nostalgic on pictures, not that I was giving up drinking. But yeah. I don't know. I just figured it'd be fun to. There's a seagull I was playing around with at the pier. I was feeding him actually some of the dried shad. You're almost on the same. Really? You think 4 minutes into my live I'm already on? Bass or girls, both are good. Yeah. I don't know. I just thought it'd be good because I don't know. There was my last two lives I did when I was fishing. Just the two contrast of those, and that was I think I know Bass the North. You were there. a lot of you guys were there. You saw the difference between those two lives. When I was there at Pinot, and they were kicking their, you know what, on the finesse jigs, and I never got a bite. And then I went back with actual finesse jigs, and well, the kid was there. Wayne wasn't there, but I redeemed myself. I caught like three or four, but that was just it. Everyone was telling me to. Yeah, but that's just kind of, I don't know. That just kind of got me going on. Let's do it Tuesday night and actually do uh, fishing and Q&A and conversations, because just the contrast of those two lives, and the fact was everybody was better buzz. I need to start drinking them less, not drink them quicker. Come on, big worm. Oh yeah, I took some pictures of all the seagulls that hang out at frickin' Pinot. There's like amazing amounts of them. Like, see, it's my old boat. It's still sitting right outside the window. I need to sell it, guys. Another big crappie. Yeah, but I just thought about that. It was just kind of funny because everyone was on that first night. Yeah, that was kind of my point, because everybody kept telling me to throw this, throw that, throw that, throw this, throw that, and me with 40 years and all that. I said, I'm like, I'm not going to catch anything. I don't have what they're on. It's just, it's that simple. Yeah, I'll be there tomorrow. Wayne's supposed to be there tomorrow, so I want to go fish. I want to go fish my finesse jigs against Wayne's, because he bought some of mine, but he's not fishing. He went back and bought a bunch more of those. So I just kind of want to maybe see the differences, because he's fishing like at 3/16. I'm already up to, I think I'm at that, what, like 1,020 now, something like that. Oh, what the hell's that? I can't even see that picture. Oh, I think there was a seal that was coming over. Well, everybody does. That's why you fish. The bite and the fight. Those are the two things that get you excited. You get excited when you feel a bite, and you get excited when you set the hook, and you get to start fighting them. It's like Heinz. It's the anticipation. I found. I'm trying to. I'm reducing mine. I had a big bag, and then I went to that nice little bag, and I don't even use 90% that's in that little bag that I take with me all the time. But yeah, the whole thing was that whole. I actually brought my box in, because this was kind of the funny thing on that first night. That first live. Dirty water. Usually darker colors. Muddy, weedy water. Thanks, Justice. Yeah. Thanks for being fashion conscious with me. You got to match, man. You got to have a camouflage fanny pack. I don't know. European handmade. Yeah, a messenger bag, right? Like an over the shoulder black leather camo. Something you should usually like carry a laptop and stuff in. And flip it up and have all my baits in there. Maybe I could get a camo suit made, like pants and like a suit. I could wear a camo shirt with a tie. um, I don't know, a lot of weeds. I mean, you can flip in them or frog. I mean, I don't know. I'd have to see the weeds to know like sort of what I would try to play with them in. I actually just set my bag down and wander around and have to wander back to it to get stuff done. But yeah, where'd it go? I put it in here somewhere. Yeah, about those two. See, the first day I was live and everyone was, whacking him on the freaking finesse chicken. I remember I threw this big thing around. I mean, it's not that big. It's quarter ounce. That's what I'm thinking, weighing and all that. This is a quarter ounce head. There's a lot smaller. So I think there's 3/16 because he said he doesn't know what the weight is. But they were catching them on those finesse jigs. And I had one of these, and yeah, I threw it around. But then I went back with, and you should be able to tell. Yeah, I would assume that a frog in that, but if they're not on top water bite and they're buried in it and don't want to come up, then you might have to flip something in there. But yeah, I mean, you guys can see. Is there a slight difference? Oh, this thing's turned sideways. You can't even see the trailer. But I mean, there is a slight difference in those two baits as far as the size and the profile. I mean, way smaller head. Just everything about it is like way compact and smaller. So everyone kept saying, "Put on your jig, throw your jig," and I'm like, this big thing compared to this really thin lower profile thing is not. They're not going to want this. That's not the profile they're on. They want something small and thin. But that's the whole thing when you're bass fishing. Like every everything makes a difference, especially when they're very honed into. Yeah, and that's actually. I mean, this is actually a small bait. I mean, this one in itself, when I fish this, most of the time with pros, they're like, dude, your jig's so small. Because, I don't know, this jig length isn't that long. They usually have like bigger, bulkier, free. I mean, this looks a little compared to what a lot of the pros use when they're fishing jig. But like I said, that and all of these that I have, and all of them that I was fishing, all have the same profile. I mean, like you said, most people are like, oh, it's a jig. Yeah, they're catching them on something a little lighter, but you should put a jig on because they're on a jig bite. Like, no, they're on a finesse jig bite. They're not on a bigger, bulkier, heavier jig bite. And quarter ounce is usually heavy. Usually, people throw 3/8, half ounce, 3/4, and all that. But this is 1/8. And I said they were throwing. Well, this one here, our ball head one with the thing. This is actually 3/16. But the difference between this and this, the 8th and the 3/16, for me, I can feel a huge difference when I'm working it. I mean, the 3/16, because this is heavy for me. I mean, this feels like a friggin' ton of rocks on the bottom when I fish it, the quarter ounce. And when I'm moving it, because I don't use a really stiff rod now, and the way that I slightly move it, it's just kind of basically staying right on the bottom. But when you switch to one of these with that 1/8 ounce in that, even on the medium action rod, every time you go like that and move it, it's coming up a lot further and floating back down. And when you get stuck on something, you pop it, it's coming up very high and it's floating down like really slowly and softly, like what a natural crawdad would do. I mean, think about it, when crawdads scoot up off the bottom, they pretty much float back down, guys. They don't go and then drop to the bottom really quick. Everything in freaking water is almost weightless. So unless they're kicking their tail and shooting towards the bottom, when they come up, they float really naturally back down to the bottom. So when they're on those lighter jigs and that sort of smaller profile, you can't fool them with something bigger. It's like that's what they're looking for. But that's what those two lives showed, and that's what I loved about it was it showed a total difference in coming prepared and having the bait they want and being totally unarmed, basically. I mean, they didn't want the drop shot, they wouldn't hit the flicking. They only wanted a jig. I mean, that's just what they're hitting on right now. There's a lot of little crawdads that are only about that big that are all over the lake. And when they're that small, they're molting because they're growing constantly. So they stay green. They have that brown green color. They don't really turn red and start getting that red and black until they slow down with their growth and start molting less, which is usually when from crawdad tail, usually they start getting around 4 inches and above, unless they're stunted or something. But yeah, as they're growing, usually up to about the 3-inch and 4-inch, they're molting. That's pretty cool, right? When I'm talking about this, there's a crab in the background. Oh, that was some big crab I found in Moss Landing on the side of the road. It was just sitting in the sand, so I took some pictures of it. But yeah, they're constantly growing, so they'll be that green pumpkin-y color, and they'll have orange on them. They won't have the red. It's when they slow down their growth and they hold on to their outer shell longer that it starts darkening up and getting red because they only molt, Sometimes when they get that big, they'll only molt like twice a year or once a year. Something weird on my floor. Freaked me out. I don't know what it was. Yeah, so that's that. I don't know. That's probably why the green pumpkin and the greener, maybe even that PP&J. Anyway, it's purple and amber. Yeah, but that's just what I've done tips and tricks on this back in the day about profiling your baits and profiling them, but a lot of it has to do too with the Ned rig's one right now, because the way the Ned rig is designed, with the way the weight is and the hook is and nothing in the thing, and then other people that have like a bullet head or something that has actual, I said like this thing, where there's actually lead behind the weight that comes down the shank. And I'll be catching them on Ned rig, and people are like, "Oh, I have something sort of like that," and I put that on. I'm like, "It's not gonna look the same." Like, dude, it's the same thing. Well, no, it's not. It doesn't look the same in the water. It's not. It does not work the same. It does not come to. Oh, dude, no, it's the same thing. I'm like, no. A little bit of lead coming down here onto this, and the fact that this eye is not all the way up here, and it just no, it changes the way it looks in the water and the way it comes to the water. And that's the difference between somebody that has a lot of knowledge in bass fishing and people that are just starting out, because they look at two similar things and go, "Oh, well, this one's cheaper," but it's basically the same thing. But the functionality and the way it looks in the water and the way it works, they're totally different. And it can come down. I mean, I said everything makes a difference when you're fishing. the weight of your line, whether you're using mono, fluoro, braid, hook size, an inch difference in the bait, or just like I showed you with those jigs, just it's a total difference. The profile itself is a total complete difference to the fish. But people that aren't as knowledgeable, I said those are 1/8. And it's funny because I didn't catch anything on the 16th. I should do a comparison with that, guys. Pinot has some big ass crappie. I should compare some of that. I should take the same colors in the 16th ounce, the ball head 16 ounce with the weed guard, compared to the bullet head with the in the 1/8. All my cut 'em on yesterday live was the 1/8. I threw around the 3/16, but I didn't get any. Nope, they're all 1/8. The ball heads, the bullet head ones are 1/8. The weed guarded one is 3/16, and I think the ones Wayne and them are throwing are 3/16. Yeah, see, this one's 3/16. Ball head, and it's totally different ticket. See, it has a 30-degree flipped eye on it. Those are 3/16, but what I caught them all on are these. They're 1/8, and see, it's a 90-degree angle head. It doesn't have the forward head. So these, especially with me using mono that floats, when I'm working them, they're kind of going like this and back down, like it's picking them straight up. When you have this, anyway, I use the mono on that, but the head's 30-degree an angle forward. Yeah, instead of picking it straighter up, it will have a tendency to pull it more forward. Yeah, I mean that's just it. That's what I said. I mean, I've been doing this for 40 years, guys. 40 years and millions and millions and millions or whatever of hours on the water. And I constantly play with that stuff. I'll have them, I'll get on a good bite that's on a certain type of bait. And to me, to do it as the educational side of it, instead of like, oh, this is great, and staying on that bite. Yeah, research development. Instead of staying on that hot bite, I'll start going, all right, well, let me see if I can catch him on something else. Let me try this sort of bait through it. And let me try this sort of bait through it. Or and a lot of that is just to see, well, are they just hitting this because that's what they're on? Or are they hitting anything that's kind of similar in the same area of the water, the same direction? Or maybe, yeah, this bait's, yeah, it's whacking them. I'm catching 40 a day. But maybe something else will catch ones that are slightly bigger or not as many. But when I do get one that's bigger, I mean, it's all stuff the pros do, and the pros have to figure out because it's their living and it's their tournaments. And you're out there with the top of the top. I mean, with people that can figure this stuff out just like you can. So that's just it. Most people don't. I don't know. Most people, when they get on a hot bite at a lake or something, they keep going back, and use the same lure and all that, and catch them till they're not on anymore. But I used to always go out and I'd catch them on one thing, and I'd play around, experiment, research, development, like this. Because you never know. You might be catching 1 to 2 pounders. You try a different type of lure, a different presentation. Suddenly, you're hooking 3s and 4s. You're like, didn't even know they were here. Everything I was catching was 1 to 2. And a different bait, different presentation, boom, all of a sudden start getting a little bit better quality. So, man, those are really good fish. I miss my boat. You really see it when you say, well, I don't know. As far as what? Difference in presentation and difference in, yeah, when it's sight fishing, that's whole different ballgame. That's like hormones and stuff that are affecting the bass. So I love regular fishing and sight fishing. Within what I was talking about, that's you can't even compare the two. That's totally different. Texas Fishing Force, how's it going? Sorry, we're actually spending a not sorry, but ooh, that's Pinot, guys. Look, a rainbow over Pinot. Usually we hang out and kind of talk about it, all kinds of stuff, but we're actually talking fishing today for the most part. So far, well, by the end of it, the girls might be back on the screen and we're playing Are You Smart in the fifth grade? Just kind of let it go here. Well, I don't even remember this jacket I'm wearing. I'm like, I don't know. I think I'm trying to figure out what. I'm not plaid or black, but I think that was my waterproof little slicker that I was wearing. I don't even know. I think these pictures are all like 4 and 5 years old. To be honest, I think something like that. Yeah, I think these were. Yeah, that's my black slicker. Um, I think 2012 is when I started on it. 12, so 13, 14. Yeah, yeah. I think most of these photos are like 3 and 4 years old. So that's me on my boat at Pinot. I keep seeing my boat showing up in the corner. A majority of these fish were uh for the if I can Maloney's. Oh, Maloney's. New Maloney's. I still got to go up there eventually. Spots. Probably spotted bass, right? Yeah, spotted. Well, you saw my trip to freaking Nazi. Spent an hour at shore and I caught five. No, I don't know. Spots and largies. Nah, I said I just picked that thing up because it was already at the lake. The kid was in a bind because he owed him like 3 months of rental for keeping the boat at Pinot, and they were gonna repo it. So basically, I bailed him out by basically I paid for the 2 or 3 months of rental, so so they wouldn't lock it up. And I said it was already there. No, if I get another boat, I'm actually gonna get a bass boat. I don't want another little John boat in that. I'm gonna go back to like an actual full on rig, something that I'm used to fishing off of, and something that'll allow me to fish the way I want to fish. Because these little John boats and that, I mean, positioning's everything, angle, all that. You're in those, you're at a disadvantage, especially when trolling motor's in the back, you're going backwards, the wind's blowing you around. Oh, Pat, no, Pat died. No, Pat died. It's been like 3 years now, I think. Yeah, no, that's Pat you're talking about. No, she died. She died from cancer, I think. 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago. Yeah, she's the one I had to deal with when I had my boat there. She would yell at me constantly if I was 30 seconds late getting in. She would yell at me. Man, yeah, she was a bitch. That's why a lot of people didn't fish there because she, she would just yell at you. She was the worst thing for that place. Yeah, she'd been there for like 30 years. My head in one of those cutout things. Yeah, these are all the good bass you used to be able to get at Pinot. Well, I mean, they're still there. I said majority of these are flipping. Almost the majority of these fish you see behind me are from flipping. Yeah, now it's city workers, but still. There was Pat, and then there was Candy. Well, I don't know. It was just about everybody that worked there was just mean for the most part. They all were like clones of Pat, and she would yell at people for playing music too loud in the parking lot. I mean, she would basically yell at you for just freaking anything. I mean, she would yell at like little kids. No, there's just a lot of the same size fish in Pinot, and a lot of them are over 3 pounds. I think the majority of these fish are probably that one's not, but most of these are probably around 3 pounds. Some of them are a little bit bigger. Like that, I think that's a 4.8, and I think that's another. After the interview, yeah, a lot of these fish are caught in an area that you can't get to anymore. That's another probably close to 4. Um, you see, that's the Marmos area. So that was obviously caught on not flipping. Usually out there, I would just throw around the plate and jig and stuff. But no, some of these in an area you can't get to by the county side because that island wedge itself. There used to be that cove you go into and around the corner. That's where this is. I think the county is right over there. Look at the size of that freaking crappie, guys. No, I haven't been back there. No, I haven't. No, I've been on an extreme budget, so I haven't been going to any lakes where I have to pay. it's, it's like the little extra $6 was like killing me. So I've been going everywhere where I don't have to pay. That damn, those fish are nice. I'm pretty sure every single one you're watching behind me is Pinot. Yeah, I think 90% of these are Pinot. Yeah, you knew that. People used to launch it at Marmos. People used to launch not just their kayaks, but I'd see them come down there with Luna boats and drag them down there and take them out. What county side of what? Pinot or Coyote? Oh, Coyote. I thought you said Coyote Lake, not Coyote Creek. No, that's why I've been at Pinot. You don't have to pay anything on the county side. There's nobody at the gate, is there? There's nobody over on the county side. You just have to drag it a mile to get to the water. But yeah, if you go to the city side, of course, you have to pay the inspection, launch fee, and all that. Look at all those fry guys. Those are all fry, and that's an underwater. Look at all those fry. All that you see there is all just millions of freaking fry. Looking at that, now I'm looking back at this year and I'm like, well, maybe they're that big ball of fry right there. I'm looking at it going, maybe they didn't have a good spawn this year compared to what it used to look like. No, I've pretty much just been going to Pinot, Chesbro, and I've pretty much just been going to Pinot, Chesbro, and Uvis. I haven't been back to Almaden Reservoir. Um, haven't been to Anderson lately. Haven't been to Coyote, no. I've just been bouncing back and forth between Chesbro and Uvis. When I really want to go back to Uvis and fish a spook more, fish a spook earlier instead of just throwing it like 30 minutes before dark. Yeah, I want to go back there too, but I said I've uh I've just been limited because I just don't have the funds right now too. Because I'm coming from Monterey, so I mean, if I put in $20 of gas, I pretty much only have two trips. Depending on, I usually try to do one longer one and then one shorter one. If I go to Pinot, I don't know, $20 would probably last me going over there like 5 times because it's 23, it's 46 miles there and back. All the rest of the lakes are, I think Coyote is 40 something from here one way, and everything else is further. I think it's 82 miles. You're 72 or 82 miles from here to Lexington. Unless I go the 101, and but then I have to drive 17, which cuts it down to I think 50 miles, cuts out 20, but driving to 17 and I don't know. I just don't like doing that with all the traffic and people are freaking tailgate you and just plus a lot of times you get all that traffic before you get there in the SoCal area. It's just like suddenly you're bumper to bumper and snakes in the water, you know? Anybody else? Because I've never experienced that. maybe, maybe there were just reeds floating on top of the water. I don't think I've ever seen a snake at Pinot, even on shore. Yeah, never. No, I've never seen it. Maybe they were just reeds playing with your mind. Hey, city kid, hunting and fishing. What's up? Welcome to fishing talk. We're having a good Q&A. Well, there's like 11 of them. 11 of them I would like to fish more constantly, and I do fish. But recently I said I've been going to Pinot quite a bit again, Uvis and Chesbro. You casted it to your TV. I like that. I keep getting that thing too on here. I hit the button. It's like cast it to. I didn't. I just learned you could do that. Yeah, you put that little thing in the USB, and you can cast it to a big regular TV. Kind of cool. Yeah. No. I've been fishing those, but I said there's like 11 different lakes around here. I mean, I've fished. Oh, you got a smart TV, so you can go. Oh, okay. Um. So yeah, I fish Pinot. I fish Lagoon, El Estero, which is here in Monterey, which doesn't really count, but Chesbro, Uvis, Coyote Creek Lakes, Anderson, Almaden Reservoir, Almaden Lake. Still haven't fished Guadalupe. I need to go fish Guadalupe. Uh, been to Versona, been to Stevens Creek, been to Lexington, O'Neill Forebay. Still haven't hit up San Luis Reservoir. I don't know why I've never hit that. And Calero, which is right there, which I still haven't really ever fished. And I went to Los Banos once. But yeah, I try to mix it up too. Like I said, all these pictures you see behind me and all that. I had my boat at that boat for like 2 years at Pinot, I think. It's either 2 years or like a year and a half. I kept it there. I don't know. I just got a. Oh, there's a lot of them up there. I mean, Stevens Creek is in. Where's Stevens Creek? Los Gatos? No. Mountain View. No. It's past if you go, but Almaden Lake is in San Jose. Vasona's in, well, San Jose right before you go over to 17. That's where licensing is. Stevens Creek Reservoirs, that one's further up towards you. There's Cunningham, but I heard that place like that's by Raging Waters. But people said that one's like, I don't know. I want to hit it up sometime. But it's the one that backs up against Raging Waters. But people said, oh, there's no fish there. You can't get fish there. But, you know, people say that about a lot of lakes I go to, and I seem to find fish. So. Sandy Wool's that way. I mean, Sandy Wool's in Milpitas. And there's one that's actually, if you go past Sandy Wool, more inland. I don't know, maybe somebody on here knows, but there's another lake past it that's a bigger lake. But yeah, there's a lot of them around here. And then, of course, in San Jose, there's all kinds of perk ponds that you can fish. And Guadalupe River, it's more like a creek, but that has bass in it. And you can actually fish it right now. It's open April through November. That's a cool shot. All the birds leaving from the front of my boat. It's like a movie moment. Wow, that sounds cool. Yeah. Thanks, Bobby. Yeah, that sounds that sounds cool because I don't fish many. Oh, I just have the. I'm not supposed to show it anymore. I don't think. It's Bud Ice. I don't know. There's something about. I don't know. I heard about on YouTube not being able to show labels on beer, on alcohol when you're drinking it. I don't know. I hear the stuff on lives. I don't know if people just have rumors or if it's actually true, but they try to say all kinds of stuff about, oh, well, you can't do this anymore. You can't do that. Was it Del Rio? No. He's in the Modesto. Oh, well, maybe that's where Del Rio is, but yeah, everybody keeps telling me about. I don't know, all these new, you can't do this on YouTube anymore. You can't do that. People are telling me that, like, giveaways. I haven't done giveaway. I've never heard anybody say anything about No, I've just had a lot of people. Yeah, they're saying that their friends are getting busted and flagged for giveaway. And there's all kinds of like, evidently rules for give. I'm like, I've never had a problem. I mean, I'm I'm giving some away for free. I mean, I don't know what kind of giveaways they're doing or how they're doing them, but I don't really think they can tell you that you can't give something to somebody for free. I mean, there's no stipulation. There's no nothing. I'm like, hey guys, somebody want to win this? Leave a comment. Let's go. All right. Well, yeah, I'm not gonna remember that from here, and but shoot me an email. It's Bass, BASS at centralcoastbass.com. Then I can save it and remember because yeah, from here it's probably yeah, but shoot email. I said bass at centralcoastbass.com. Shoot me an email. Tell me your link. I'll have your email to return it to. But that's how I do most of my stuff. Is I don't even have. I don't think anybody I fish with even has my phone number. It's always all just through email. It's like my nightly chore is to check emails and correspond, correspond, correspond with the people that are getting a hold of me. Oh, great! Now I'm going to spend all week at Pinup. I was just I was there Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, or no, I was there Saturday, Sunday, Monday. I'm going to go tomorrow as I want to fish with Wayne. And now you're saying, oh wait, weren't you just there? I was just going to ask you, weren't you there today? Were you? Didn't you go today, Jay Jones? You said you were going to buy some finesse jigs and stuff. You were going to go today, or did you just like not do it? Because you asked me yesterday. If I ever meet her and she asks me, I will back your story. I will back your story. Just say thanks. If I ever meet you and your wife and she asks something about fishing, I'll be like, uh, no, he couldn't go that day. It's always the best answer. Like, no, I never saw him there. Like when you're with someone and their wife or something like, was he at the lake the other day? Did you see him at the lake? What day? No, no, he was not there. Actually, uh, I saw him a couple days later, and he said that he had to cancel because, uh, yeah, exactly. I've learned to do that over the years when it comes to like husband and wives and fishing. If I know the husband and the wife, if they ask anything about if I saw him anywhere, it's like, no, didn't see him. Yeah, it's always my response. Uh, I mean, obviously, even if I did, the response is always no, no, didn't. He wasn't. He told me he had to cancel. Every gamer moments lately. No, we haven't played a game on here in a while. I think the last time we played a game, we actually won it, and we did the advanced. Are you smarter for fifth grader? And we won. We won like 5 million or 2 million or something. Hey Joe, what up? And where's Right to Bear been? Right to Bear hasn't been on here in a while. I'm supposed to mail him. I actually just I was supposed to mail him my card like 2 weeks ago, but I keep forgetting. Actually, I went to put it out today, and the mail was had already gone out. But I haven't seen him on here in a while, and I don't know where Chris is either. Chris hasn't showed up in a lot. Well, he works, so he works early. He usually chimes in and he comes here, but we're getting the other regulars in here. But yeah, sorry guys, we've been going over all kinds of. Yeah, Jay Jones, I will restock too. Chris is having lunch. I'm here. Oh, he is here. He's pretending to be Big Worm right now. He's just laying low in the background. Yeah, I was gonna mail it out today, but uh, I put it out at 11, and then I asked my mom if they'll mail it. She goes, "Yeah, he was here at 10." I'm like, "Shit." Oh, now Chris shows up too. No stories tonight. We're actually talking fishing. I'm actually running actual years ago photos of pinup. Well, this is the weirdest thing, guys. These pictures, you can kind of see a rainbow there. Oh, you can't really. It was raining so hard and the sun was out. And I turned around and there was actually, at the end of my boat, there wasn't just like a half rainbow. It was in a complete circle. It was like floating off of a. No, no, we're actually. Oh, that one's on shore, guys. No, it's a fishing Q&A this time. I just thought after those last two lives were such a contrast between me getting humiliated and sucking because everybody around me caught like 400 fish and I couldn't even get a bite. And then I came back the next day and I caught them and nobody else did because I went to what they wanted and I showed the contract. So yeah, I figured it'd be good to just focus on some fishing stuff this time. Eventually, if you guys want them, I can support the women fishermen and put the girls back up. It's up to you guys. But no, we were just talking about kind of contrast, uh, difference in sizes, difference in profiles. The fact that pretty much everything in fishing counts. I mean, basically, if you're fishing like pressured lakes and lakes that get pressure, I mean, if you're fishing a farm pond or a private pond, have at it with whatever you want because you're probably going to catch fish. But if you're actually, fishing pressure lakes and all that, everything matters. Every little thing. Some kid in Wisconsin, how's it going? I'm sorry, man. I love that. I love that channel name. Some kid in Wisconsin. It's like, well, Drifter from Cali. That is a really good chat. I like that. I said I'm really thinking about changing mine to golden diaper basset. I'm kind of at that age, Depends might start coming into the picture. So, I think Chris was genius with that. Longhorn from Texas. I don't know. I just really think golden diaper basset is like that's where I'm getting. I'm 53 now. I'm getting up there. I think that just kind of says it all. Or what else would be a good one for old timers? Depends Bass Club. That's like the one that what? Dirty Hookers. That's a bass club that low budget's gonna be joining. They're called the Dirty Hookers. That's probably the best ever. Hey, you weren't on the for shit. Oh, yeah, you're watching the background. I said everything you catch. I've seen so many 3 pound crappie out of that lake. Yeah, Chris, you didn't. I don't know. Were you on the live? Did you see the live? Because I went nuts with my finesse ones. I got a whole bunch of them on this. Well, not a whole bunch, but I got like 4 on shore, 5, all on the finesse jig, and this one was rocking it. PP and J. Yeah, I couldn't let Wayne and yeah, look at the size of those things, guys. That's not even one of the biggest one on here. The biggest one is the one that's like super black. Yeah, I had to, after Sunday and getting humiliated and my ass kicked because I didn't have any finished. Well, I had them there in the car, but to go back and get them, and I trim them first and stuff. It just wasn't worth the time. And then they let it stay like all the way till 9. But well, yeah, that's another thing with these. Did you watch my 360? I think Bass and North actually watched my VR. So I'm like, you're not even from here. How do you know what the shoreline looks like around Pinot? I'm like, oh wait, duh. I just stuck that one up. No, that's another thing with these guys. These actually come with skirts that are like out to about here. They're really long, you know, way a lot of the finesse ones come. But yeah, I like to trim them down so we can see it. They're just sort of like a little spike collar and that just around the weight. It still will while it's going down, kind of slow it down, but I don't know. I just think it's better than leaving them. I mean, that's when you buy a production. When I get back to some, they're like that far out. And you can keep them that way if you want, but I like to trim them down. And I used to run those. I used to run those with just a little curly tail worm. I would take it and skirt's 2.5 inch, and I would put a worm about that far past it with this little curly tail. And I used to catch a lot of them that way. I should actually get a bunch more little curly tails so I could do that with them. But that pocket craw works great on them. And it's hollow, so it usually traps air when it goes in, so it does kind of stand up a little bit. See all these fish, Chris? This used to be an average day at Pinot when you're flipping, was this size fish. Constantly. But this was 2 and 3 years ago. So. And hours and hours of just saturating and hitting every little nook and cranny and every little piece of opening and everything else. But yeah, back to Bass North. Sabine, Caribbean Queen, how you doing? Welcome. You better like fishing because that's what we're talking. Plus some other stuff. But yeah, Bass North. Yeah, but see, same thing on shore there. It's people hit that up almost every day and flipping it. So the matter of hitting a spot nobody else hits. But that shore does get hit a lot with flipping. For the more, I don't know, I'd say advanced. Some kid. Well, if you go back and watch all my over 1,000 videos I have on YouTube, if you want to become a good fisherman, you'll probably learn to become. Because I have a lot of educational stuff on it. Tips and tricks and biology bites that I have. Lots of them. No, I have a lot of educational stuff on there. If you go to our website, centralcoastbass.com, and you go to the very bottom, there's a thing called there's a little button for tips and tricks and biology bites. And if you hit on those, it's actually all of them are linked from YouTube. I think there's like 6 or 7 a page, and you can just scroll through them and watch. I think they're from earliest back to 2009 up to almost current. I haven't been doing the tips and tricks that much lately, but I think there's 180 tips and tricks on there about bass fishing and fishing in general. And then next to that is biology bites because I'm a wildlife biologist, so more of a scientific side of it. But yeah, I have some educational stuff on that. Trust me. If you want to learn fishing, I have some knowledge I transferred from my head to video and upload it. I think the first 2 years, 2009, 2010, 11, 12, I think I spent pretty much. It's right there. I have 2 of them. How did it look? It looks a little bit. Well, no, it kind of looks the same as that one. No, this is the one I. This is the one I used for that. This is the Insta 360 I used for the one you just watched. I just think getting such reflection in it. Yeah, this is the Insta. I forgot what the hell this one. Yeah, the Insta Air. This is 2K, I think. I think this is only 2K. And you can go actually live on Periscope. You can go live on Facebook. You can go live on YouTube with it. But it doesn't show you. Unfortunately, I bought this to go live with, but it doesn't show you if anybody's watching, and you can't see the comments when you're live 360 with the thing. So it's I don't know, it's kind of a effing ripoff because the live is about this interacting and seeing comments and knowing there's people actually watching you. But no, I got rooked and bought this one, which doesn't do that. And the other one I got that's actually for this phone, which is the 4K with the surround sound and everything. Uh, they only let you go. They falsely promoted you to go live on Instagram and everything else, but it'll only go live to Facebook. Evidently, they didn't get the rights or something. But that one's right here. This is the other one I go live with. This one is actually 4K with the surround sound, and it actually attaches to this phone. Magnetized, it sticks to the back of it. And I actually found that audio in that thing is better than audio in here. I think the problem with that thing is when you go 360 with that thing, obviously you're looking at the screen. Well, it has 4 speakers on it, but the speakers that are facing you when you're looking at the screen are all the surround sound speakers, and the main one that gets the audio is the one that's in the front. So when I did that 360 and I'm walking from behind, talking to it, I noticed that when I did the one at El Estero, that compared to this one, the instant when I walked around, the audio was really great. But with that one, the audio was a lot more muted and kind of hard to hear sometimes. And it's because the main speaker's in the front and the surround sound speakers are at the back of it. So I don't know why they designed it like that, because you pretty much got enough. Well, if you're walking that, you're going to be looking at the screen. So why would you want the mic in the front? And when I did it on a tripod, yeah, there's me and the girl. When I had it on the tripod in the front, you could hear me. And then when I walked around it to take you around it to tell you, Suddenly my voice disappeared when I got around the back side of the camera. So $150 for that thing, and couldn't go live like it said. And it does great. I mean, it's 4K. That one's 4K. That one's 2K. But yeah, they're cheap. Past the North. I mean, I know that was one for it. Now I think that one was on like $100, $80, probably less now because it's old. And now when you play, you can either get you can get it for an Android, you can get it for Apple. And Android, it comes in the C format or the older format. I guess I want to transfer it and start playing it with this phone I bought a while ago. I bought this one like the Boost phones. It's a Motorola too. I bought it just because I had like an AT&T like push button phone or whatever. So I bought one of these $20. Never hooked it up to the internet, but I used it for a Wi-Fi connection on my DB Power, so I could use this from a distance to see what the camera was seeing and control it. And I'm like, oh, maybe I could use it, but no, this one has the. That's not the C plug. That's the older plug. I'm pretty sure. Is it? Almost looks like the C plug, doesn't it? I'll have to check that out. Yeah, those cameras are cheap, guys. You can actually get the Recon. I think it's called Recon. Makes one. Plus, Insta makes one. That's actually it doesn't have to be attached to the phone at all. It's a standalone on its own 360 camera. I know Recon and Rico. It's kind of like a stick, but it's a 360 and But if you already have the phone, it can work too. It's just as easy to buy one of those. I said that one plugs in the bottom. That one detaches. But I kind of got ripped off on both of them as far as what I want to use them for. So everybody just lies about what you can do with your phone and what apps it has and what it can. And then you get on and it's like, oh, there will be a future update where you can, like, you say it right on the packaging. You go live on YouTube and then you get on there and you go live to Facebook and you start researching it and they go, well, eventually there will be an update so you can go live on YouTube. Bullshit. Didn't work for me. Okay, one is down now. Just Fish trying to say that I was already on my second one. Just really trying to make me more of an alcoholic than I am. Random beach pictures. So, any questions out there? I did title this Q&A. I think I did get a few questions, maybe. I think it's more me talking and you guys responding at the moment. Nobody's responding in a while. Are my comments broke? or, or, you should do glasses. It changed it to bear. I should do glasses of bear at home. Way more what? Way more cool. Now you gotta be old school and just drink out of the bottle. Remember when I had the wine? I was just drinking it right out of the bottle. I said I have to turn it now, so. label away. Because evidently you're not supposed to show labels. Nope. I spent it all. I spent my day editing a shitty ass video with this guy Chris. I don't know. I'm just, yeah. Had to just stare at his face, and then just his voice is just ringing in my ears right now. It's just chatter at this guy Chris, just constantly in my head. What's probably gonna happen when I go to bed too. Of course, I'm kidding. No, but I was. No, I'm kidding, man. No, I was filming the show I did on Saturday with Chris. Oh, look at that, guys. That's actually a real frog in its mouth. That's the first time I've ever caught a fish that actually had a frog in its mouth. Look, there's another picture of it. And then the next picture is me with it in the hand. This is a pinno. Look at that. And I caught it on a frog. And I looked in its mouth and it had these legs sticking all the way out of it. I said the first time I've ever caught a fish. And there's the whole frog right there on my hand. It wasn't even that big of a fish. And he ate a frog. Or actually, he ate the toad, not the frog. One of our CCB toads. Look, there's one with one of our underspins in its mouth. You know, I think that was the first time I used it. And I got 8 on it. And there's another one with the underspin in its mouth. And then after that, I've hardly got any on it. It was just like that first time I used it for some reason. They went nuts on it. I was like kind of post spawn. I was just throwing it right in front of the reed and slow rolling it. And catching 8. I'm like, yes, this thing's gonna work. And then hasn't really produced that well since. So yeah, no, I'm gonna fish tomorrow. I'll be live tomorrow. And then I don't know, evidently Jay Jones is gonna be at Pido on Thursday. I think if I go back, so Thursday I'm there. Okay. So I don't know. Maybe I'm just gonna spend a week going live at Pido. I was already there Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Skip today because it's Hangout and I'm here. And evidently I want to go tomorrow because Wayne's supposed to be back, and I kind of want to compare that for my own purposes of that. I want to kind of compare my finesse jig compared to the TRDs that he's using. Now that we're going to be equally matched, and I'm going to do more of the PP. The PP&J I'm going to bring more. I'm going to bring at least a couple of each of the ones that worked. And now he says he's going to be there on Thursday, so I don't know. Maybe I'll show up there and go live again on Thursday. And then I don't know. Maybe I can film somewhere on Friday. I had yesterday's show done. I have. Hey, Johnny O. I'm supposed to do. Well, I said originally I did fishing shows on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I think I have $3 a piece. I think that's what I was selling those for. I know my football J's were like $3.49, $3.99, something like that. I think the finesse one. I think they were $3. The finesse ones. I'll check. I can't even check online. It's gone now. I can't even get on and look. Yeah, I think they were 3. I know the football, and then even with that, My profit that I was doing on my baits that I made, I was happy if I made like $1 off each bait after my cost to make them. I wasn't charging that much at all above what it cost me to make them because I'm not doing huge bulk. Like I'm not buying 5,000 jig heads and like 5,000 skirts. You know, I'm buying like 50 jig heads at a time and 50 skirts at a time, like 100 skirts. So I think most of them cost me close to I don't know, close to $2 to make each jig for what I was putting into it for the head and the skirt. So uh yeah. I'll just throw a bunch of them in there. Uh I said, well, if you watch the video of my baits, you see I have that drawer is full. I'll buy 5 for 20. 3, 6, 9, 8. Yeah, that's right. You skunked the Uvis? Well, I didn't do that much better. I mean, other than those two that at the end that blew up on the freaking things. Nope, no trailers on them. I think the only thing I threw trailers in was when I sold them was the jitter jig, the bladed jig. I had trailers, but no, those don't. I don't. I don't have. Yeah. I mean, I sold trailers. I had the pocket craws and the other stuff. The pocket craw goes on the best. Yeah, I'll bring some. I'll bring some with me. I'm already through all the green pumpkin ones. I'll have to check. I think I have another bag or two of them left. I didn't have many of those pocket craws, and I've been pretty much using them the whole time. No, I said what's actually almost better for it than that is a little curly tail worm. I think a little like curly tail worm on it, like a little ringtail curly tail or something. Actually, I don't know. Kind of works better than the little pocket craw, in my opinion. Yeah, well, when I used to sell my baits and I sold them quite a bit, it was because uh, I was on my boat at Pinot and I was constantly using like the bobblehead that I was flipping with, the bobblehead, skirted bobblehead I was flipping with, the bladed jig I was catching a lot on. Uh, so yeah, I was selling a lot of my bobbleheads and the skirted bobbleheads, just not done, but they were just the terminal tackle. It was actually, and I sold a crap load of my jitter jigs when I did that show a few years ago where I caught 23 on it in February. So yeah, as I was, and so, yeah, when I was using my spinner baits more in that, yeah, they definitely sold more when I fished them a lot and caught a lot of fish on it. Plastics, I don't know, they never did that good. Hey, Flat Earth, how's it going? Yeah, it's no, it's not a no brainer. That's why the pros and everything are constantly showing you a bait and catching a fish on it, showing it, catching the bait on it, talking about it. And I kind of got out of that, and yeah, it was kind of weird because it's like if I didn't talk about it and I just said this is our bait, people are like, "You make baits? I know you make baits. You make baits?" But now I've been doing the giveaways and the bait challenge. Everyone's like, "I know you made baits. Do you have any left? Do you have any bait?" It's, it's like reverse psychology. When you wanted to sell them and you had them all, like nobody wanted them, but suddenly when you kind of give it up and just go casual with it, suddenly everyone's like, "Oh my god, like you have these? Oh, I want these. Oh, this." What? Okay. Luckily, I still have a bunch around. But it is kind of funny that the finesse jigs that I showed Wayne are the 1/8 ounce. He didn't want those. He wanted the 1/4 ounce with the weed guard. But the 1/8 ounce, I think, catches a lot more fish than the 3/16. Just the lighter you can get away with, the better. But then again, like I said, I need to kind of do a comparison with them because why did I start fishing? Uh, I don't really know because nobody in my family fished. My dad didn't fish. My uncles don't really fish. I don't know how I stumbled into it, but none of my family fishes. So, and somehow back when I was like 10 or something like that, I got into bass fishing. I was really, well, the fact that he died in 1986, there is no relationship. And there has been no relationship since 1986. Before that, it was fine, but he just never fished. I said nobody in my family fished. I was 19. Yeah, I was 19 at that point. But yeah, people often ask me how you got into fishing. I don't really know. Yeah, yeah. People, and I'm like, so I don't really know how I stumbled into it. Hey, Rattle Trap. I stumbled into it somewhere along the line, and I loved fishing in general, but then almost right away when I was like 11 or something, I got focused on bass. Then I got into watching tournament fishermen and all that stuff, even back in like 1979, 1980, when it wasn't even like it is now. Yeah, not all men, but yeah, I said that's the way. I don't. That's why I said I have no idea. I actually, if I was a skateboarder at the same time, I was a skateboarder and a fisherman at the same time. And to tell you the truth, I don't even. I have no idea how I got into either one of those. Uh, I would watch Bill dance. I don't. I don't even know if I can remember the first time. I remember a lot of times that I fish, but I don't. Like I said, I don't know how I actually got into it. Maybe I saw something on TV with fishing. Um, Same with skateboarding. I don't even. I think skateboarding was one of my friends. Yeah, TN. Yeah. Well, I used to watch Hank Parker. I would watch Shaw Grigsby, Roland Martin, Bill Dance. I I don't know. I have a lot of them because for when I was growing up, when I was really little, every summer we spent 3 months in the camper traveling through all the different states, and I don't know, everywhere there was a lake, I would use my dad's pole and go try and catch something. Yet he never fished. So, like I said, it is a good question, and people ask me a lot, but I have no idea how I got into fishing. I don't like I said skateboarding. I think it was I kind of stumbled into it on my own, but there was a friend of mine in grade school named David Valadez, and I think he was the person that took me to Upland Skate Park for the first time because I said I think that's kind of where I skateboarded. Some of my friends, or whatever. And that's where I kind of got into it. But it was David, definitely David Valdez. And the funny thing is, he was a bass fisherman too. And actually, somewhere, um, there is. He used to, when I got my first bass, and we were in an action afloat bass club. Yeah, but I said I don't know where it came from. Seriously, I mean, I have no idea. He had one, but it was like a prize. He had a Mitchell reel, and I think it was like a custom made rod, but he, he never fished it. It was a privilege for me to be able to like use it because I didn't have any of my own. But yeah, my friend Van Dell, yeah, got me into the skateboarding side of it. I remember that. He took me to Pipeline the first time. But like I said, he was also a bass fisherman. I think he gave up skateboarding. I had pictures of him because we kind of switched over to fishing. Oh yeah, and he used to always pick me up. He would drive me to the lake. He would pick me up from the lake. Actually, in 1984, when we moved here to Monterey, I kind of got out skateboarding and was back into fishing. And he actually found Pinot and drove me with my boat to the lake before he had to go to work. But yeah, he was the first person to introduce me to Pinot. I had my boat on Pinot in 1984. Was the very first time. It was a little 11-foot boat that we made into a bass boat. And I fished it a couple times back in the 80s, and then I didn't go back to it till like 2012 when I got back into doing Seneca's Bass from when I moved from Slow, which is where I started Seneca's Bass when I had my bass boat there. And I took an intermittent hiatus in San Francisco for 4 years with my clothing store. And then I came back here in '09. That's when I restarted Seneca's Bass. Sort of. But yeah, as far as when I started, where I started, why I started, something I was interested in for some reason. But yeah, I was obsessed with it for a long time. As far as watching, I would always couldn't wait for the Bill Dan show and the new Roland Martin show and the new Hank Parker show, and then when ESPN started having some of the Bassmaster tournaments and stuff on TV, used to always like couldn't wait to watch those. And now you go to YouTube and it's like freaking you spend like 5 days straight and still not be able to watch every single new fishing show that's uploaded to YouTube. It's just so saturated. But yeah, thanks for asking, guys. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, the shows would never be past like it's like you woke up at 10 and they were already done. Uh, yeah, I don't know about that either. I, oh, actually, no, I do. I was I was a DJ. I'm an '80s DJ. Had had my own club night for like 6 years, and when I moved up here, when I was a skater in that, I had a lot of friends that were in bands. I had a lot of women friends in that were like into fashion and were going to school for doing hair cutting and but not just like true, but like cutting half moons in your hair and like dyeing your hair, more of the like kind of fashion side of hair and makeup, and they were really cool vintage shoppers and always had like incredible style and everything. And so I don't know, for some reason uh I I don't know. I started making my own clothes for skating. I started making my own shorts and my own shirts and stuff. And then I sort of morphed into making women's clothes. But that was my influence. It was all the style of all the girls that I used to hang out with when I used to go to different clubs where my friends' bands were playing and everything, and the whole club scene and the DJ. And so that's where that inspiration came from. That one I know because I started making it, and I didn't know any of them at the time, and I was like, oh, so and so and so and so saw this skirt I created or this jacket. I don't know. Both are creative. I think I don't know. Skateboarding was a sport and an activity, but at the same time, it was. I don't know. I don't know how they tie together. It's, I don't know how fishing, skateboarding, and fashion, but nowadays more of the skaters are kind of into the fashion too. But yeah, I'm a very eclectic person. And I don't. Other than it was, I think the one tie between all of that for me was it was all independent. It wasn't a group activity. Like it wasn't in the group sports, that sort of stuff. It was skateboarding as an individual thing, fishing as an individual thing. As far as the fashion, me creating the clothes and all that, I did it more as like art. So it was just my individual sort of idea of what I want to create. So I think the thing that ties it all together it would be the fact that it's something you create on your own, more individual than group. And that's, I mean, that led me to, well, I've always been into video, making videos since 1986 and all that. Back then it was skateboarding videos. And when I got my clothing store, I started making videos for that. And so, I don't know. I think the one thing that's been constant throughout everything sorry, burping from the beer. Pretty much the only thing that's been consistent about everything I've done is I've always brought video making into it. Skateboard, I used to make skateboard videos. Fashion, I made fashion videos. When I was a DJ, I just spent a year and a half creating a documentary about my night, and I always had fun like filming stuff while I was there and creating little videos. So yeah, the whole overall theme of everything is no matter what I did, I tried to bring capturing it and making videos about it into the whole mix of it. So I just love the whole process of capturing it and creating it and producing it and having other people be able to watch it. So that's sort of, I think, I think about it now. It's just like I really think I created the skateboarding. I mean, the clothing line, so I would have an excuse to make videos and graphics, and I used to run all kinds of ads in the magazines and everything, and do the photos and put them all together. So I think it was something I wanted to do, but I couldn't. I never went to school for it, so I couldn't really get hired by somebody else to do graphic design or fashion. Yeah. Now I'm kind of out of all that. But the funny thing is, people are like, "Well, how can you go from fashion designing to creating your own baits and that?" I'm all, well, it's all a creative process. Me thinking of a type of, all right, I'll be there. Evidently, I'm gonna have a week of lives with all different kinds of people. Yeah, Jay Jones, I will be there on Thursday. Might as well. Uh, I can do some other sort of video for Friday's upload. Yeah, but no, that's what I said. Is I think I never went to school for anything I've done. Well, as far as like photography and video and all that. Yeah, and that too. If you're just an eclectic person, you're into everything. They don't have to connect, but there is sort of a connection. Like I said, the clothing and the creation of the clothing, and then making. When I suddenly switched right after I came back, and suddenly I wanted to start making baits and creating baits. It's still the creative process. It's the process of thinking of something, creating something, putting skirt colors together. Figure out the plastics and the weight of stuff, or bending the wires and the certain sort of blades and everything else. When the meet and greet, I don't know. I don't know where. Well, I was thinking of doing it at out to sea, but now the pier's closed all the way till I don't know. Wasabi said it's closed all the way until September. First, he said it was only weekdays, but now I think it's like closed. That is just simply the process. It's just Chris just finally noticed Worm was here. No, that's it answers itself. It's if you're a person that's a creative person, your mind is always thinking of things to create. That's the joy is the creation itself. Um, no, I love the middle. I hate it. I love the thought of creating it, and I love when it's done. But I've always done everything myself, so the process of having it in my head and imagining it, and then the time, and then the time to have to when I was doing clothing or all that, having to like cut out the pattern and then sew it and then do get everything and then see it done. So yeah, it's like if I just had to think about it, create it, and then hand it off to somebody else, and then seeing the final process, it would still be the same, but I wouldn't have to do all the shit in between. Somebody else would do it because I would just I would have the process of thinking, or even a certain bait and putting a bait together, and then the fact of then fishing it and then catching something on it. So the thought of it and then the catch are the most joy, but having to sit down and actually bend it and put on the split rings for a spinner bait or a jig and put the things together and all that. That's the so for me it's the worst part is the process in between because I made everything myself. So it was I couldn't wait. You know, I guess that's the best way to describe it. Is yeah. Did I answer that right? I don't know. Yeah. So okay. Well, yeah. The process of it. Yeah. No. It's. I guess I can answer that right. Yeah. The the process of coming up with it is fantastic, and when it's done, it's fantastic. It's but if you do it yourself and all the time it takes to get it from the epiphany of the thought to the something you can hold in your hand is uh, sort of the hardest. Well, more with my clothing than the baits, I would say, because the baits is just it's not such a long process as far as what I did because I had everything and I bought everything, so putting it together and getting it done didn't take nearly as long as in clothing. I mean, to make a jacket like this all by yourself and cut it all out and put it together and add everything is a lot longer process. But once you get it done and you like either somebody puts it on their body and buys it or you put it on the mannequin for the first time and look at the way it comes out was just that's the best part of it. I'm sure it's kind of the same way with like actors and stuff too. I mean, I'm sure coming up with the idea for a movie is great, but to do all the scripting and have to do all the writing and then all the filming and getting all the actors and actors in it, and then finally you see it done. So it's that would sort of be the same thing. Is you have the idea, fantastic, and then there's years in between before you get to see what you had in your mind on the screen. So that's the works in the middle. Gratifications in the beginning and the end, and the works in the middle. I guess is the way to put it. Wow, I'm getting so many good questions. Uh, yeah. Well, I was just thinking about today, and this really funny thing is Well, and Chris Rock does this too. Is the difference between having a job and having a career? Because he's like has a career, and in having a career, you love what you do. When you have a job, you hate it. Like he talks about working at I don't know Sambo's or Bubba's Shrimp, and compared to being a comedian and making movies and all that, you work just as hard, but the gratification and you want to do it and it's fun to do. But I remember when I was at Marshall's, and this is right before I ended up, well, a lot of you might not know. Yeah, but I remember I was there at Marshall's, and my manager, something happened. I don't know. I think he got a write up, and she was saying, if you get one more write up, we're gonna fire you, whatever. Which I actually got one more write up, and they didn't fire me. Something completely different than I fired me. But I remember her saying, you really don't want to throw away something that's given you such a good career. Because at this point, I've been there for like 8 years or something. I'm all, the fuck you talking about a career? This is just a job I hate. This is not, yeah, I was like, giving you such a good career the past 8 years. Oh, this is not a career. This is just a effing job. I mean, seriously. if 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 I wanted to be a career, I'd be someone like her, who'd been miserable for 23 years as a head manager of a store because it's just so chaotic and always drama and always going on. And she's like popping anti-acid pills like every 5 minutes and just always stressed out. Yeah, I just couldn't believe she said it to me though. You really want to watch yourself because this has been a good career for you the last 8 years. Well, this ain't a this is a job I hate. What do you mean a career? But if you ever watch Chris Rock, yeah, he does a really good. I forget which stand-up it is, but it's a really good thing about career and job and the difference between the two. Because there's definitely a difference. I mean, I've been doing this now, the whole YouTube thing, since I got fired. Like 4 days before Christmas. This has been it full time. I took all the money I got from that and cashed some stuff out, and for the past 7 months, this has been it. And it's a 24/7 thing. I'm constantly thinking things. I'm constantly working on things. I'm constantly, I don't know if you've watched me recently, my intros have been switching around, switching here, going back there, going here, and I've been playing with other stuff and started the CCB Bay Challenge and started the whole CCB crew in the intro. Yeah, exactly. Well, the reality is that well, the boss that originally hired me, they like did a witch hunt to get her out because I don't know, she was creating waves. She'd also been there like 30 years, but when she hired me, I came in. She read my resume, all the stuff I'd done. At that point, I'd had my clothing store. I'd been a DJ. I'd done it. She's like, "Why do you want to work here? You're like way, way, way overqualified to be working at a Marshalls." And I'm like, working for myself for the last 11 years. Uh, I don't really have any skills that I think other people would want. Oh yeah, and the funny thing is, she'd been there through like 20 something years, and the district manager was a buddy of hers, and he started at the same level as her back in the day. And so he was the one that was bossing her around, but she was like still like we're the same. So she would always come back at him. She would always argue with him. She would always confront him in conference calls and everything else because she was still a store manager. He went to store manager, and then suddenly he became district manager. So he was way above her. But to her, they were still, equal ground. So she would always kind of go back and forth and say things. So, but the funny thing is, they got rid of her, and then right after that, they got rid of him, or they went after him, and he stepped down from being a district manager to being a regular store manager, just because they were trying to witch hunt him too. And I don't know. It was a fun little drama thing. But it's retail, it's Marshalls, it sucks. Most of the managers don't have a college degree. Some of them don't even have a high school degree. Oh yeah, that place was killing me. It would, especially with doing this, because something would happen there, and I'd want to come home and just like edit or do something, but it would get up in my craw. So I'd come home and suddenly, kick back and lay have my beer, and I would constantly run what happened and what it was about. It was just a distraction. So that's why I haven't gone back, and that's why I'm trying to focus on this. That's to be my major source of income and the major things I want to do, because and I said, it's just, it's so hard. And most people that work there, they just want to hide in the corner and check their phone and send text messages and stuff until they get off work, because they only hire young kids. There's almost nobody. Almost everybody they hire is like 18 to 21 in college, and they don't want to work. They just want to get there and get their money and get out. Like, all my write-ups came from me complaining about other people that didn't do their job. Complaining to the managers and just going off saying my coordinator, someone that's above me, is like, I'm doing most of the work, this shit, that. And I always got the write-ups for it because I was complaining about other people that didn't do their job. So yeah, it was, all this is on. Actually, all this is on my lives. If you go back enough, I think there was a live where right after it happened, like end of December or something like that, where I spent the whole time just sort of venting about the whole thing and letting all my viewers and letting them in on everything that happened. So yeah, I haven't even been back there. I've been back there once since I got fired. I went in there because I needed my W-2 form, because they don't send them to your house. So you had to go in. And the manager's like, oh yeah, it's here because you quit. I'm like, oh, I quit. Is that what I did? And she's like, oh, she got really sort of embarrassed and was like laughing because obviously she knew that I got fired. But yeah, no, I have one shirt that's our sticker design, but no, no, not as far as designing or anything like that. But no, I want to have like CCB hats with our logo, and I have actually a bunch of shirt designs that I designed, because for my clothing store, I designed a lot of graphics and everything. And I have my one sticker. I have another sticker that was done by Hookum Dano, which I haven't seen in a while. I don't know what happened to him on my show or coming on live. Maybe he's busy something, but he created a cool one for the CCB crew. But right now, it's all just, it's funding, because I'm pretty much out of all the money that I got to fund this. And yes, more and more money is starting to come in, but it's not to that point yet. So I don't know, looking at getting a loan or a line of credit so I can start doing all the stuff I need to do for this. That's what really killed me in my clothing line, is instead of having the money I needed to do everything, I just kept taking a little here and taking a little there and doing it half-ass and half-ass and half-ass instead of full ass. Um, at this point, I don't know, not much, a couple thousand to be. I mean, to do it really at this point, yeah, for like 3 or 4 thousand. I know I just went from two to three, but that's what I did with my clothing, and that's what got me in trouble. Yeah, no, like 5,000 max. In order for me to right now, like, add, you know, some nice CCB hats, start adding more t-shirt designs, maybe relaunching my baits, that sort of thing. Because right now, since December, with everything I cashed out, and I've just run out now, I had about $4,000 to play with, 3,000, 4,000. But I'm back in with my parents, so no rent in that, which is saving at this point. But yeah, and my YouTube income has it just recently jumped, doubled from what I was making to what I'm making now. From what I was making for like 4 or 5 years, it's about 8 times that now. From when I was working at Marshalls and I was distracted in that and uploading, I was actually making about $7 a month on YouTube, even with uploading probably 3 and 4 times a week. Uh, and yeah, it's more now. It's still not, obviously not to the point that it's supporting me fully, but yeah, now it's gonna come. I'm learning how to manipulate, and I don't know. I'm learning how to play the YouTube game. I've been on it for 13 years, and I'm just now learning how to play the game of YouTube, as far as titles and thumbnails and multi, Instagram and Snapchat and just constantly, because I feel like if I'm constantly doing stuff, I'm uh I'm gonna annoy people. But that's the way it is. It's like, I mean, people post constantly and post and post and post and post. Like, I see them doing fishing shows, and they're filming a show, yet they're posting like 5 and 6, 7 times during the filming of the show to like Instagram with little videos and photos and pictures. And to me, I'm like, it's not gonna annoy, but it's just the way it is now. It's not the way I grew up with TV. Now it's social. That's like why people are on their phones all the time. They gotta check their text every like 5 minutes, every 5 minutes. And my phone. Oh wait, I'm using it. My phone's there, or my phone's sitting over there charging. it's I never use it for anything else for the most part. It's either watching YouTube, interacting with YouTube, Instagram, or charging. I don't bring it with me. I don't. I think I've only made 3 phone calls on this. No, okay, be honest. Maybe 10 phone calls on this phone, and I've had it for a year and a half now. I don't even know the phone number. I have to look it up every time. so, so yeah, that's sort of my plight here. If somebody was asking how much money do you need to start? Yeah, not that much. I already have everything. I have 11 cameras. I have the software. I have the 360. I mean, I have a drone, right? I mean, as far as that stuff, you don't need, like, when you're doing a clothing store, you don't need thread. You don't need you don't need material and the constant raw stuff that becomes when you're creating videos. I mean, other than having baits and apparel, um, you have enough cameras, you have software, you have an editor, you're good. No, that's not a thing. Is I'm not good at It's like going. You're asking so much good questions, but yeah. No, that was one of the things with I'm the creative person, but I'm not the business person at all. That's what killed me at my clothing store because I need someone that would promote for me. I need someone that would go around and do all that business side stuff. Because I'm the creative person. I love the creation and the making. It's kind of the way a lot of the fishing shows are becoming now. They used to do all their own filming, all their own editing, but now if you look at all the big shows like John B, the Guggen Squad, a lot of the other ones, they have someone now that films for them and they have someone that edits for them. It's not the way it used to be, and they're up in the game because they have hired people that, and it's all third person now. They wear the GoPro chesty and that for a little bit, but it's all another person now that does all the editing, takes it in, and it's making it harder for people that are trying to follow suit because they have someone filming them just like a regular fishing show, like the old Bill Dance and all that, where they had like 3 boats following him and all these different. And so it's up in the game, but that's just sort of the way of YouTube now is. It's getting to the point that you have to have an editor, you have to have a cameraman or a couple cameramen. Most of them have people that they have 2 and 3 people that they pay that are basically their business and they're their employees. So yeah, that makes it a lot harder to get yourself in the door. Back in 2009, 2012, when I first started, I had a pretty big following, and I don't know, for some reason I kind of got. I wasn't the same place, and I was a little bit bitter, but I kind of got bitter at it, and I spent 5 years not uploading videos much and writing a daily blog that's still on my website. I think I did that for 4 or 5 years because I wanted to get back into writing for some reason. So I've done everything wrong on YouTube. Let's just say that. I'm back at it now, and I don't want to let it slip as I'm starting to get some more leverage behind me and more people coming in going, hey, now this guy actually has some knowledge in fishing, and he doesn't just fish private ponds for big fish. He catches fish on highly pressured, overpressured lakes, like all the ones behind me that are been up. Launch a beer company, Southern Coast Brew. No, I was always thinking of making, because my last name's Kawa, right? Kawa. Kawasaki. Kawasaki. It would work. They can't, it's my last name. They can't give me a copyright. And it's totally different. It would be Saki, but I always thought it'd be cool to have Kawasaki. Santa Cruz Brew, though, that would be good. And we could use with the label would be the sticker that Hook 'em Dano made up, the one with the bass with the beer. All right, yeah, in a couple of years when I don't know what to do with the money that's coming in, and I really don't want to buy like a bunch of Ferraris and Lamborghinis. I'll hook you up, Big Worm, and maybe you can manage the brewery, or, or maybe we'll have like a freestanding brewery bar. No, I'm just being I'm no, I'm not. This is a hypothetical. This is this is a hypothetical when I'm like Mr. Beast on YouTube, and like last year he gave away like $2.5 million to random people, which I would love to do too. But yeah, no, this getting it to that point. Yeah, no, I'm not just gonna suddenly go out and go. Let's switch it up, guys. Let's do beer. No, this is how we think tank in here. You're kind of new into here, but they've a lot of these lives on the Hangouts and that. My a lot of the CCP crew and that we come up with lots of ideas. I think that's where ways to do the quick little giveaways. It came from there. Um, I don't know. There's been a bunch of little things that have sort of been incorporated. I think the intro with Hey Justin. Um, I think the intro with the CCB crew came from here. Who's the buyers? Yeah, I know. Yeah. Well, no, the buyers in that are the people that are incorporated into the people that are watching, and that's the good thing with YouTube is once you get yourself to the point that you have the followers and you have the crew in that, they become the purchasers. I mean, they've all been asking me for, do you have that merch? Have you gotten that merch? And you have this merch, and now with the baits and that. So that's kind of what everyone does on YouTube. You get yourself to that point, then you branch out with having the merch and having the baits. Um, yeah, I don't, I don't know if I'm ever gonna go that route again. I know that's what the Googans and everybody did, but I don't know. It could come to that point, but I think I don't know. I don't see that anymore. I rather see it through uh, all in house through the whole CCB Cynical's Best franchise network kind of thing. I don't I wouldn't I don't know. I would not want to produce that. I would have it. I just like it more custom. I mean, the other thing you can do with the fact that when it becomes more custom is price goes up. I mean, if you get to the point that you're making, $1 million, $2, a million, 2 million a year on YouTube with your video production, you don't really need to produce something that you're going to need in retailers and all that. Now that was more of my thought process when I started my clothing company was getting it to the point that suddenly it'd be carried in Nordstrom's or Macy's or all that sort of stuff. But that's not the thought process now. Now it's more the process of having the videos themselves and the creativeness of the videos and everything be more of the income, and then the other stuff is just sort of perks on the side. I'm I'm not as young as I used to be when I started this. Back then, for 11 years, I did my store. I had all the energy in the world and just made and produced. But yeah, now I don't know. Well, you're right though. I mean, the thing is, the buyers. That's what I said. But no, I've already kind of been down that route with my clothing, and that was my thought process there. Here, I just want to keep it small, keep it simple, very custom. Right now, I went too overboard with the baits to begin with. Oh yeah, there's a lot of ways to make money. But see, the problem is, I never thought about the money. I'm I don't know. Money was never ever the focus of anything I did, which is probably the reason everything up to this point never really succeeded because it was it was the process of doing it that fulfilled me, and it was just never. I don't know. It wasn't the the monetary side. Just well, I don't smoke in my house. No, I've been cutting those down too. I'm thinking of cutting everything out. Going totally serious. Oh yeah, I mean, as far as what you said, I thought process. Yeah, but that was within what I say because I was creating everything. See, usually in like clothing is if you're a head designer or something like that. Yeah, well, that's what I said. In clothing, the thing is usually a head designer. They're the one that they're the creative person. They come up with the concept, they do the sketching, they come out with basically the prototype, but then it goes off to production. They're the people that deal with making them and how many they're going to make, and then you have all the people that are in the marketing side of it and that, and like what retailers are going to buy it, where it's going to go, how it's going to be. See, if you look at it in the if you look at it in the clothing sort of industry, which was I was in, and I was trying to do everything, I would probably be better off as a designer or a creative director or designer. That's the creative director, the person with the concept, the ideas, and works with all the other people that can get all that stuff done, like from the clothing itself, the design, the fabric, the texture, the drape, the lay, then to like advertising for it, the way the photos are going to be done for the advertising, um, all that sort of stuff. That was sort of me within what I was doing. Is I was a creative director, which is like what most designers are. Like Alexander McQueen before he committed suicide, or John Galliano, or Tom Ford, or Chanel and Karl Lagerfeld. I mean, all those. That's what they are. Is they are the creative mind. But you have all the people below you that do all the other stuff that you're puppeteering. Yeah, exactly. And I'm self taught for everything I've done. Video editing, DJing. Yeah, but see, you also you had a business side, a finance side. I didn't know. I like I said, I needed all that. I was the. I even had an investor once. I had a freaking multi-million-dollar investor. That's what he did was invest, and and he was from Canada. He came into my store. He was eating at the restaurant across the way. He was he wanted to sit down with me. He sit down with me with his lawyers. He was within this is my clothing and what I created and the concept of it. And he said he could see this on Fifth Avenue. He could see this on Rodeo Drive. What your ideas, your concept, your whole. And then he looked at me and goes, "You need a lot of help." But and I went, "You mean like mentally or?" But he was fascinated and just blown away by the whole concept of everything I'd created for what was called self clothing at the time. But he knew that I needed structure with it. Somebody that could come in, had the finance people that could do the marketing, do this, do the all the stuff. That, but he saw the whole envision of what I created. But I just played it too safe. I never tried to get investors. I never did any of that. So the whole sort of multi-million-dollar concept and idea. Just stayed in small little out of the way stores where I had them, and it just never developed because I was too scared to actually do it. Yeah, that's what I said. It's I don't know. I'm much too anal at uh, wanting to do everything myself and not let anybody else sort of anyway they probably have more knowledge and are smarter. And it's just I don't know. I just always have grabbed onto the fact that I want to do everything. I mean, when I did this, I even built because my dad used to work with wood and all that. When I had my clothing store, I created I did fashion shows for the first 4 years, like big ones, you know, in front of like 1,000 people, 2,000 people at the farmers market and everything else. And I built the whole stage myself. I designed it all myself. I like, and people were like asked to help. I'm all, no, I got it, I got it, I got it. And even when I would assemble it in different places, people would come and they're like, "Oh, you need some help?" I'm like, "No, I got it, I got it." And so I would spend like hour, or whatever, putting it all together. It's usually what. Yeah, that's the way. Yeah, yeah, that's why I said design. That's why I didn't. That's why I'm a wildlife biologist because I didn't want to go to school for graphic design or fashion design or anything else because I had my vision. I knew I could. I wanted to do it my way. I knew how I wanted to do it. I didn't want somebody telling me how to draw or how to set up a thing. It was but I went wildlife biology because it's a gray area. I mean, you're studying animals that have their own independent thought, and it's really sort of up to the interpretation of if you're studying them, like why, well, you know, why are they not doing well or why are they doing well, and you have to look at the food and all that stuff. But it's it's not as black and white as if you went to school for something like they were trying to teach, like architecture or graphic design or fashion design, all that. I had so many people that came into my store because this is supposed to be about fishing, and now we're off on a totally different subject. But anyway, women would come in and tell me I was doing things wrong. This was I did all one of a kinds. I taught myself everything that I made was mine as a piece of art. And women that sewed in that or went to fashion school would come in and go, "This hem's wrong," and "Oh, that's not done right." And this is I'm like, it's mine. Everything in here is mine. It's my art. It's my creation. They're all sewn to my specs and the way I do it. How can you tell me it's wrong? But they're thinking industry and being within the corporate world and how things are sewn and made. When mine was more of an artistic interpretation of all that because it was just my creations. And everything that was made by me was sewn to my specs and the way I first created them, with the hem being a certain thing and the way the sewing was. So to me, it was all done right, but to everyone else, it was done wrong. So they were telling me that my art, my creation was wrong. So I was like, did I miss this book of rules in the world? Because I'm pretty sure it's a form of art because I'm only doing one of a kind and I can do it the way I want. It's not there's nothing wrong with it. It's just my art. But everyone wanted to tell me that I was doing it wrong. So that was a lot of what I had to deal with when I did it. Because everyone wanted things done right, industry standard, and they have to be done like everything else and look exactly like everything else. I'm like, no, this is my artwork. I can do it whatever freaking way I want. You put it on, it looks like an amazing dress. You go places and you get people going, "Oh my God, I love that dress," or "I love that skirt." And, "Oh my God, where'd you get that?" "Oh, that's amazing." Then I do my job. If people come up to it and go, "You know, that hem is only a quarter of an inch and that should be a half inch. Who made this thing?" Yeah, I know, but it's like it's just funny. It was just funny to me when I started that everybody told me it was wrong because I was self-taught and created. But I'm clothing all over the world, or tons of countries in the world, and all that. I just never did enough volume to make money. But and even my artwork, I did digital pop art, and I have pop art in yeah, exactly. I have my own pop art when I had my eBay thing in I forget how many now, 10 or 15 different countries. I know I have three that were bought by people in Paris, South Africa, Germany, and it was all just my version of like cool pop art of movie stars and bands and all that other stuff. And it started to go real, started to sell pretty good, but in actuality, it's all copyright infringement because it's produced off of a photo of somebody, and that's just, it's so hard to. But I was pretty proud of that. I mean, to have things I created in many different countries and art I created in many different countries. A lot of it was this sort of stuff here, like my pop art, like that's Andy and Edie. This one I created of an artist of mine, artist friend. These are her paintings, and oh yeah, by the way, these are the cuffs I created when I had my clothing store. It's actually done on recycled denim, old jeans. Uh, yeah, so I said a lot of stuff. I had some press and magazine. Actually, these cuffs were in 7 and 7 at San Francisco. I did some vintage porn ones that ended up being in a 7 and 7 magazine and a feature of local artists. So I mean, I've had my fame. Even when I was skateboarding, and like I said, you skate with Tony Hawk and all those guys and that. I never saw it as business. I never saw it as something that would make you money. It was just fun at the time. So I got into it, kind of went out of it, then kind of got back into it, skated for Santa Cruz for a while, and then kind of got back out of it. And then all my other friends, so a lot of them, morphed it into a huge business and a moneymaker. But for me, it was just like, yeah, something to do, kind of fun. Didn't really want to do it as a career, be, you know, professional skater at the time. It was just, and I was good at it, and it was just fun to do. So passed in and through that one. I said I've been good at a lot of things. I've just never made money at anything I've been good at. It's sort of my plight. A starving artist, which sort of pretty much, and a lot of it's because what you were saying is because I just didn't have people to network with and join up with that could have done all the other stuff that's what becomes um, crucial for actually turning into something that makes you money. I just did it because it was really fun. I figured the money would follow. Yeah, sure, but yeah, throw it out. I usually only try to go 2 hours on my lives, and my phone is getting ready to die. Oh, trust me, for a while, me and my dad made my own skateboards, and I used to have I kind of at one point, I kind of had ideas for the design of my skateboard when I became a pro, like the graphics and how it would be laid out. Never went there because I quit and went back to fishing. Yeah. If you want that concept, I actually know just about everybody in the skateboard industry. If you want to get something produced as a skateboard, oh, my low battery's kicking in right now. you still spacewalk? I don't think I have. No, no. Oh, you mean the Michael Jackson? No, there's a wavy board. Well, there used to be a board that was sideways, that was turned like that my friends created by Epic, and it failed. A lot of those more creative, interpretive type stuff with actually skateboards and that have kind of all been done in the past, and they all kind of failed. It's just sort of the straight skateboard now is like what's going to stay around and be around. Most people have played with either rough edges and all that other stuff. Well, I still skate. If you go back in my channel, I have 3 skate and fish videos I did. And a lot of it's me skating, following them, filming them. And there is the last one I have a segment of me. But I can still skate in little skate parks and stuff. I mean, I've done that as long as I fish. So, but anyway, guys, if anybody, I was sponsored Vert Rider. I skated for Santa Cruz for like 4 years, 5 years. Plus, back with Tony Hawk and everybody else when we were both like 12 and 13. I don't know. I'm just trying to capitalize on the whole YouTube thing. I mean, I said throughout everything I've been doing, video has always been a part of it. So to get to the point that I can make an income living filming what I do and going and fishing and doing these lives and that is, anyway, it's a hell of a lot of work, and I do a 24-hour day. That would be the most gratifying for me. And then again, you follow it up with doing some apparel, like hats with your logo and other stuff, and some stickers, and a few custom baits and that. But it's the creative process of the videos that I'm really into now. Yeah, that thing's so old. My friend actually created that for self-clothing, and I took over the concept and kind of redesigned it for Santa Cruz Bass a while ago. It's cool. I like it. It's kind of old school, but I don't really sell anything over right now. It's just sort of informational and stuff. But I gotta head out, guys. I'll be live tomorrow. I'm gonna be fishing tomorrow, but I'll be live. I think evidently I'm gonna be live for the next 2 days. Plus, it's not that late now. I still have to finish up the video I was editing today to upload tomorrow. But yeah, I'll be live probably around 6:30 or so tomorrow evening, fishing at Pinot, and then Jay Jones is gonna be there on Thursday, so I might show up again and go live. And I usually upload videos Monday, Wednesday, Friday, although it still seems to be every day of the week that I put them up. But check those out. Yeah, thanks a lot. Email me. I mean, bass@centralcoastbass.com about some of your ideas and stuff, because I'd like to keep in touch with you. You gave me, I don't know, you took it to a place I didn't think it was going to go. Hiding in the background. Yeah, no, you hit me with some good stuff in that, and thanks a lot for that. But yeah, definitely hit me up. Or, I mean, I won't be able to do this. I mean, till next Tuesday when I'm in the Hangout, because that's when it's more conversational. Anyway, I get back to people while I'm fishing at. But yeah, you subscribe. But yeah, send me an email. I said it's bass@centralcoastbass.com. And I liked your whole questions and everything you were bringing at me. I said I screwed up my site. I was selling the merch, my t-shirts and the baits, and kind of like we were talking earlier about wanting to do everything yourself. I got some people that hacked it and put some viral stuff on it. Instead of buying a software, having somebody actually take it off, I went in and just deleted it all manually and locked myself out of my own CCB custom bait site. So it's I like Big Worm. See, Big Worm always always keeps me in line when I'm rambling. He knows I need to go. He always just comes up with a bam. So I'm going to follow his suit. Uh, I said, thanks a lot. Thanks for the questions. But yeah, I got to go. I got to finish editing. And I really got to go to the bathroom. Thanks, guys.